there is one knows not what sweet mystery about this sea, whose gentle, awful stirrings seem to speak of some hidden soul beneath. It rolls the midmost waters of the world, the Indian Ocean and Atlantic being but its arms. The same waves wash the moles of the new-built California towns but yesterday planted by the recentest race of man, and laid the faded but still gorgeous skirts of Asiatic lands older than Abraham. While all between float milky ways of coral isles and low-lying endless archipelagos. Thus, this mysterious Pacific zones the world's whole bulk about it, makes all coasts one bay to it, seems the tide-beating heart of Earth. When these words were written by Herman Melville more than a century ago, the Pacific was a vast barrier separating us from lands and peoples seemingly as remote as the distant planets. Today, this same ocean is no longer a barrier, but a frontier linking in commerce and friendship the free nations of the Pacific community. A community spanning 5 continents and comprised of 29 nations, including 8 nations newly emerged since the Second World War. Today, the United States Pacific Fleet has the continuous responsibility of defending the Pacific frontier from the ever-pressing menace of communism and keeping its sea lanes open for the free exchange of goods and ideas. To understand the immensity of the task, let's first have a look at some of the products in this vast treasure house of the East, such as Marco Polo never dreamed of. Now, what of the people who grow and manufacture these products? 1.5 billion strong, over half the Earth's population. They are of many races, creeds, and tongues. Preserving the common heritage of these people, a free sea, can be assured only by the presence of military forces in the Western Pacific. And under the Joint Pacific Command, those forces are there. Ready to defend or attack as national policy dictates are the men of the hard-hitting Army of the Pacific. The planes of the Pacific Air Force, and the ships, planes, and men of the Pacific Fleet. To protect 83 million square miles of ocean area, The Pacific Fleet is comprised of two closely coordinated forces. In the Eastern Pacific is the First Fleet, which, although primarily for training, can still strike hard at any hostile incursions. In the Western Pacific is the powerful Seventh Fleet, to which areas under more immediate threat of aggression look for their defense. Let's have a look at how the various units making up these giant fleets go about their jobs. Jobs which, though performed day in and day out, never become quite routine. All right, next up, Anti-Submarine Task Group 14.7. Together with other similar groups, its job is to protect sea lanes from enemy subs and land areas from submarine-launched missile attacks.
Big shot, this is Moon Eagle 1-5. I have a sinker, 51130, bearing 297, big shot, 58 miles, investigating.
Moon Eagle 1-5, this is Big Shot, roger, proceeding to contact, out. Flag plot, this is Combat, Moon Eagle 1-5 reports disappearing radar contact. The plots, 15 miles east.
Contact reported by Golden Bear, over.
Aye.
These vital operations of anti-submarine warfare, ASW, are surrounded by several unique factors. One is the simultaneous use of all three major naval weapons, surface ships, killer submarines, aircraft, in a closely coordinated team. Another is the close approximation of this Cold War exercise to the life and death struggle of war at its hottest. Orders to the ASW hunter-killer groups are to prosecute to exhaustion any intruders until they are forced to surface and identify themselves. Only the final kill will be lacking.
Commander, how far is it to the contact area?
20 miles.
Very well, tell the ship to launch the 4 helos.
Big shot, this is Tracker 1-2, extending pattern with buoys 9, 11, and 13.
At length, the enemy sub, at least the theoretical enemy sub, is forced to surface. What next? Bombs, shells, torpedoes? No. For the United States is still at peace, theoretically. Instead, there would go out to the helpless sub and its exhausted crew the courteous query, "May we help you?" Our next visit is to a carrier task group of the 7th Fleet, one of 3 with far-roving assignments in the western reaches of the Pacific frontier. Her flagship is a fast carrier able to operate for extended periods along the Asian pressure line. This is her main battery, 100 versatile high-performance aircraft. While the planes complete their assignments, their ever-moving air base has arrived at a rendezvous to keep an assignment of her own. Briskly and efficiently, the oiler carries out its task of replenishment underway. Together with the many other services furnished by the fleet's mobile logistic support force, this capability for underway replenishment contributes vitally to keeping ships in a state of maximum readiness and keeping them at sea, where they should be.
Dave, does that answer your question on navigation?
Below decks, the skipper of Attack Squadron 41 is rehearsing in careful detail each part of the upcoming afternoon mission.
Let's take a look at the weather.
It is the rehearsal of a more serious drama, which all hope will never actually happen.
You get back into my 6 o'clock. Ed, you go into the column formation. We'll then pull up into our roll-in altitude. Let's allow about 20 to 30 degrees difference in arc for our roll-in headings. When I get to release altitude, have the target well in sight, I'm going to roll over into a 30-degree dive angle. Let's remember now the cardinal rules about firing bullpup. Use short commands only. Be sure you align the aircraft with the target before you launch the missile. Set up your dive angle, get your drift out, release the missile.
Within the 7th Fleet is another force, the Silent Service, consisting of conventional and nuclear-powered submarines. Today, the adversary they face is the Soviets' mighty undersea armada. In actual war, they must expect killer-to-killer encounters, like angry sharks turning and thrusting in the deep. Less dramatic, but probably more important, is the role they must play against enemy merchant shipping. Today, the Pacific Submarine Force is preparing for this role with deadly concentration.
Here's our exercise target. Let's make a practice approach on it. When you're ready, clear the bridge.
Captain bridge eye. Officer deck is leaving the bridge. Last man down, hatch secured. Straight board. Down the diving line. Dive, dive. All ahead 2/3. All ahead 2/3. Hatches, all ahead 2/3, sir. Well, rig out the bow planes. Rig out the bow planes. The bow planes indicate rigged out. Well, 5-degree down bubble. 5-degree down bubble. 5-9 feet.
Initial setup on the target. Number 1 scope.
0 bubble.
0 bubble eye. 0 bubble. Target. Bearing. Mark.
Vetch.
Range. Mark. 12,000.
Angle on the bow is 430. 12,000 yards set, 430 angle on the bow set.
Speed 1.5.
Plot, con, use assumed target speed of 15 knots.
What's the distance for the track?
8,050 yards.
Observation on the target. Number 1 scope.
016.
Up scope. Bearing. Mark.
Vetch.
Range. Mark.
No torpedoes. Not this time. All the same, another merchantman set up for the kill. For sure. Downscope. Liberty. To the white hats of the 7th Fleet, that revered American word means not just Philadelphia and Independence Hall, but Singapore, Bangkok, Hong Kong, Taipei. In these and many another exotic Far Eastern port, sailors and Marines periodically conduct their impromptu people-to-people campaigns with gusto and relish. Soon, too soon, it's back to duty. Behind him, each man is leaving not only all the fun, but an image in miniature of America. Perhaps the only one a Chinese, Malayan, or Burmese will ever have. Scramble. It's an amphibious assault. Today, that means attack by air, sea, and land. Today, in the distant reaches of the Pacific, it means attack by men of the Fleet Marine Force. Adding greater punch to the assault are carriers especially refitted to accommodate helicopters, each capable of transporting 10 Marines of the battalion landing team. Someday, this training exercise, conducted in the friendly Republic of the Philippines, may be converted to dead earnest against a people who are not so friendly, only a scant few hundred miles away. For here, bordering the crown colony of Hong Kong, on the Asian mainland, is communist China. Here, behind the bamboo curtain erected by his own choice, the Red Chinese stays. In fact, he must stay whether he chooses or not. So far, and no farther. That's the United States national policy, which the 7th Fleet is enforcing on a round-the-clock schedule and over some 10,000 hypersensitive miles stretching from Bering Straits to the Bay of Bengal. For example, in the critical waters narrowly separating Formosa from the mainland, ships and planes of the Taiwan Patrol Force form a fine mesh screen against even the slightest threat of penetration. Nothing that floats, merchantman, junk, or sampan, goes through uninvestigated and unidentified.
Bridge combat, our aircraft has surface contact bearing 090, 30 miles from us. Bridge eye.
Combat bridge, give me a course to intercept that contact.
Bridge combat, our contact designated Skunk Alpha on course 247, 12 knots, recommend course 100, speed 25 for intercept. Bridge eye.
Right, standard rudder.
Right, standard rudder, aye, sir.
Steady on new course 100. All engines ahead flank. Indicate turns for 25 knots.
Bearing 012, Range 28. Time 3-5. Bridge combat, time of intercept 0315 minutes.
Are the recognition signals ready?
Yes, sir.
What speed are you at?
25 knots, Cap.
All right, Mr. Wilson, close the contact to 3,000 yards.
All right, sir.
Combat bridge, hold Skunk Alpha visually, bearing 088.
Ship identified as a peaceful Dutchman. Pass, friend. Above the straits, planes of Patrol Squadron 4 extend the watchful range of the surface ships.
Nav radar, I have a target bearing 353, 27 miles from Miyako-jima.
Roger, radar, 35327 from Miyako-jima. The target looks good. Radar, take us to it.
Pilot radar, the target's on the VDHF.
Roger, radar, radar, 016, 38 miles.
Roger, pilot. Target bearing 019, 30 miles.
Roger, radar.
Target bearing 024, 20 miles.
Roger, 20 miles. Keep a sharp eye for the target.
Roger, pilot. Pilot, target 8 miles on course.
Roger.
Target on course.
Pilot bow, I have you target 1230. Roger, bow.
After station, this will be on the port side in 30 seconds. Open up your cameras back there. Roger, port.
Commencing run.
Coming by the bow. Cody or Bear? Aft station got 3 shots. That was a good distance. Roger, aft bow report.
All profile, raise 1, cruiser stern, and I also noticed a 10-degree starboard lift.
Roger, bow and nav report.
Roger. Rig 27, time 0357 Zulu, position 2517 north, 12432 east.
Okay, plane captain, what does the Lloyds have?
Korean Bear, weight 12,586 tons. Group type, box 5, sequence, king pose, king pose, king pose, mast, funnel. Radar, any more targets?
Roger, I have 3.
Patrol, locate, identify. So the routine of the Taiwan Patrol goes on today, tomorrow, and perhaps for years to come. Far to the south, Saigon, the capital of the Republic of South Vietnam, displays a deceptive facade of peace. But actually, it is a fortress. The country, an armed camp, which must be defended at all costs against an enemy ready to attack viciously at any point of apparent weakness or opportunity. Throughout this troubled land, the communist Viet Cong is making war. Ugly war. Guerrilla war. Especially ugly from the naval viewpoint is a technique of mine warfare practiced by the communists in the Mekong Delta, to which the enemy has given a new and deadly twist. Posing as simple fishermen in the maze of rivercraft, they make an easy penetration unobserved, then lay their homemade mines under cover of night. Today, elements of both the United States and South Vietnam navies are countering communist infiltrations with a novel twist of their own, in the form of a junk force composed of volunteers who are being trained with the help and participation of United States military assistance advisors. In fact, the American Navy instructor seen here was seriously wounded while on a junk patrol shortly after these pictures were taken. These volunteers are now opposing terror with terror to make themselves the most feared force operating against the Viet Cong. Thus, this mysterious Pacific zones the whole world's bulk about it, makes all coasts one bay to it, seems the tide-beating heart of Earth. Again, those true and truly prophetic words of Herman Melville, written so many years ago. But today, the Pacific will zone the world's whole bulk about it, only if we ensure that this Pacific remains a free ocean. Today, the Pacific will make all coasts one bay to it, only if all the nations bordering it are free nations. Today, this Pacific will seem the tide-beating heart of Earth, only if those tides beat on a free Earth. For today, and for the future as far as we can see, achieving these goals must be the steadfast task of the United States Navy on our Pacific frontier.